Shri Guru Gaurachandra Ju Ki Jai. Parshad Shri Guru Gaurachandra Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giraj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakacha Chastuter Sata Sri Shivan Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakacha Astuter Sata Sri Shivan Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mission Morning Class. Dandavat. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidangscha Oma Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Haribo. Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Now Shri Chaitanya, Haridev Prabhu?
Yes,
Are you going now?
what was that?
Are you going now?
I'm going back to Ecuador already.
Oh, this morning.
No, I just kidding. I was back.
I'm kidding too. But, alright. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai. Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. No, but what I mean is, will you be here to monitor?
We went downstairs.
Alright. Haribo. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai, Srila Om Vishnupadesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Continuing to read the 6th chapter of Antya Lila. The subject is Lord Chaitanya meets Raghunath Das Goswami. So now it is Mahaprabhu is discovering from Govinda that Raghunath Das is not taking prasadam there anymore. He's not taking prasadam there where they are, but he is going to the Singadora gate and just begging food from the servants. Shuni Tushtahanya Prabhu Kahite Lagila Balakaila Vairagira Dharma Acharila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, he was greatly satisfied. Raghunath Das has done well, he said. He has acted suitably for a person in the renounced order. Vairagi Karibe Saranama Sankirtana Magya Kannakare Jivana Rakshana. A person in the renounced order should always chant the holy name of the Lord. He should beg some alms to eat, and he should sustain his life in this way. So there are many rules, as stated in the Hari Bhakti Vilas at the end of the 12th Vilas. A well-to-do householder Vaishnava cannot live like a person in the renounced order who completely takes shelter of the holy name. Such a householder should chant the holy name of Krishna in the morning at midday and in the evening. Then he will be able to cross beyond nations. Pure devotees in the renounced order, however, who fully surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna, should chant the holy name of the Lord with great love and faith, always thinking of Krishna's lotus feet. They should have no occupation other than chanting the holy name of the Lord. And then in the Bhakti Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami says, it is Srimad Bhagavatam's opinion that the process of deity worship is not actually necessary, just as the specific prescriptions of the Pancharatra and other scriptures do not have to be followed. The Bhagavatam enjoins that even without practicing deity worship, one can achieve complete success of your life by any of the other devotional processes, such as simply offering oneself at the Lord's feet for his protection. So, but the Vaishnava puja is a little bit different. Deity worship in the very formal sense of the word is certainly not necessary, but it is recommended that in the temples the deity of Krishna will be worshipped, or Krishna or Mahaprabhu, and this is done by all of our acharyas because this is a very good process for us to practice devotional life. And the Lord has come, fully manifested in the deity to receive this type of devotional life by service. And we're hoping and praying that one day that will turn into actual spontaneous service. Mahaprabhu was always coming in front of the deity, not in any formality. There was no formality at all, but a full-hearted, loving exchange between the Lord and the deity. And this is the way of the 6 Goswamis also. They each worship their deities, but in full love and full realization. So that it should come to that. But it is not necessary anyway, even for Vaishnavas who are in more progress. There's not. It is saying here about Raghunath Das Goswami, Vairagi hanya jevakari parapeksha karja siddhi na he Krishna kare na upeksha. A vairagi, a person in the renounced order, should not depend on others. If he does so, he will be unsuccessful, meaning in the progress of his path, and he will be neglected by Krishna. Vairagi hanyakare jivara lalasa paramartha jai arhaya rasera bhasha. If a renunciant is eager for his tongue to taste different foods, his spiritual life will be lost, and he will be subservient to the taste of his tongue. Vairagira krichya sadanama shankirtana shakapatra palamule udara barana. The duty of a person in the renounced order is to chant the Hare Krishna mantra always. He should satisfy his belly with whatever vegetables, leaves, fruits, and roots are available. Jivara lala se jayati iti uttidaya shishnodara parayana Krishna nahi paya. One who is subservient to the tongue, and who thus goes here and there, devoted to the genitals and the belly, cannot attain Krishna. Aradina Raghunatha Swarupacharane Apnara Kuchalagi Kaila Nivedane. The next day Raghunath Das inquired at the lotus feet of Swarup Damodar about his duty. Ki lagi chadai lagara na jani udesha, ki mora kartavya prabhukara upadesha. I do not know why I have given up household life, he said. What is my duty? Kindly give me instruction. He's not regretting that. He's just saying there must be some positive purpose. But what is that positive purpose? Now what shall I do? Prabhura age kata matruna kahe raghunata, swarupa govinda dwara kahaya nijabata. Raghunathas never even spoke a word before the Lord. Instead, he informed the Lord of his desires through Swarup Damodar Goswami and Govinda. Prabhura age Swarupa nivedila aradine, Raghunatha nivedaya Prabhura charane. The next day, Swarup Damodar Goswami submitted to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Raghunath Das has this to say: at your lotus feet. Ki mora kartavya munina jani udesha, apani shrimuke more kara upadesha. I do not know my duty or the goal of my life. Therefore, please personally give me instructions from your transcendental mouth. Hashi Mahaprabhu Raghunatera Kahila, Tomara Upadeshta Kari Swarupe Radila. Smiling, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das, I have already appointed Swarup Damodar as your instructor. Sajya sadhana tattva shikha iharastane, amitata nahi jane iho jata jane. You may learn from him what your duty is and how to discharge it. I do not know as much as he. Tatapi amara agyaya shraddha dadihai, amara evakya tabe kariha nishchai. Nevertheless, if you want to take instruction from me with faith and love, you may ascertain your duties from the following words. Gramya kata na shunibe, gramya varta na hakahibe, balana kaibe ar, balana paribe. These are instructions for really all of us. Very important instructions given here. Do not talk like the people in general, or hear what they say. You should not eat very palatable food, nor should you dress very nicely. These instructions are really uplifting for us, even though this may not be our very particular duty, but it is something to always keep in front of us. Amani mana dahanya Krishna nama shadalabe, Rajerata Krishna seva manase karibe. Do not expect honor, but offer all respect to others. Always chant the holy name of Lord Krishna, and within your mind render service to Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Do not talk like people in general or hear what they say. You should not eat very palatable food. Well, we don't want to we have to exercise some caution, even in taking prasadam. Guru Maharaj said, Jiva Vegam. It means that you're taking, Mahaprasadam is always going to be very palatable. But we cannot take indiscriminately. In other words, not taking something which is bad for our health, or which is so, we become addicted to a certain thing, which is too much richness, or too much, when the mind becomes addicted to something, then we know, I have to be concerned about that. Nor should you dress very nicely, not to be over concerned about that. And then do not expect honor, but offer all respect to others. Always chant the holy name of Lord Krishna, and within your mind render service to Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in his Amrita Pravaha Bhasya that when a man and woman are married, they beget children and are thus entangled in family life. Talk concerning family life is called Gramya Katha. A person in the renounced order never indulges in either hearing or talking about such subjects. He should not eat palatable dishes since that is unfit for persons in the renounced order. He should show all respect to others, but he should not expect respect for himself. In this way, one should chant the holy name of the Lord and think of how to serve Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Eta sankshepe amikailu upadesha swarupera tani ihara paibe vishesha. I have briefly given you my instructions. Now you will get all details about them from Swarup Damodar. Trinadapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. One who thinks himself lower than grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give respect to others, can very easily chant the holy name of the Lord. But not very easy to get to that position. As we were talking about this last night in the Zoom with Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, that this is very difficult. One must cross mountains and oceans to so many levels, so many layers of misconception are there in us to come to the stage of thinking oneself to be like grass. This is a very elevated mentality and mood. And so that is where it is possible to chant the holy name of the Lord actually. Eta Shuni Raghunatha Bandila Charana Mahaprabhu Kaila Tare Kripa Alingana. Having heard this, Raghunath Das offered prayers at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord out of great mercy embraced him. So it appears that when Raghunath Das placed these questions before Swarup Damodar in order to ask the Lord, that he was present there when Swarup Damodar repeated these things to Mahaprabhu. But this was his shyness. He didn't speak directly to Mahaprabhu. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying, Puna samarpilatane swaruperastane antaranga sevakare swaruperasane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again entrusted him to Swarup Damodar. Thus Raghunath Das rendered very confidential service with Swarup Damodar Goswami. Purport: Antaranga Seva refers to service performed in one's spiritual body. So this is confidential. It means that it is it is guhya. It is not something that can be perceived by almost anyone. These are very internal kinds of seva. Swarup Damodar Goswami was formerly Lalita Devi. I mean, he's always Lalita Devi, but he's showing this form. Raghunath Das Goswami, who was among his assistants, now also began to serve Radha and Krishna within his mind. So when Mahaprabhu put the hand of Raghunath Das into the hand of Swarup Damodar, this is an extremely high thing. We have to know there is so much going on in the confidential plane of all of these dealings of Mahaprabhu and his servitors. Hena kale aila shabagodera bhaktagana purva prabhu shabaya karila milana. At this time, all the devotees from Bengal arrived, and as previously, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met them with great feeling. Shabalanya Kaila Prabhu Gundicha Marjana, Shabalanya Karila Prabhu Vanya Bhojana. Hi, Dekha. As he had previously done, he cleansed the Gundicha temple and held a picnic feast in the garden with the devotees. If we remember just now his pastime. And so lovely that we read this very recently, and Jagannath Rath Yatra just now passed. And after cleaning so well, so beautifully, then they had a lovely picnic in the garden. Text 244. Ratayatraya Shabalanya Karila Nartana Deki Raghunatera Chamatkara Hailamana. The Lord again danced with the devotees during the Rath Yatra festival. Seeing this, Raghunath Das was struck with wonder. Raghunatha Dasa Jabe Shabare Milila Advaita Acharya Tare Bahu Kripa Kaila. When Raghunath Das met all the devotees, Advaita Acharya showed him great mercy. Shivananda Sena Tarikahina Vivarana Toma Laite Tomara Pita Pataila Dasha Jana. He also met Shivananda Sen, who informed him, "Your father sent 10 men to take you away." So now the group has arrived from Bengal, and Shivananda Sena informed Raghunath Das how his father had sent 10 men, 10 guard type men, to come and take Raghunath away. And Shivananda said, "No, he's not with us." Tomare patai te patri patai lamore jankara haite tomana panyage lagare. He wrote me a letter asking me to send you back, but when those 10 men received no information about you, they returned home from Jankara. Charimasa rahi bhaktagana gode gela shuni raghunatera pita manusya pataila. When all the devotees from Bengal returned home, after staying at Jagannath Puri for 4 months, Raghunath Das's father heard about their arrival and therefore sent a man to Shivananda Sen. So now, 4 months later, the devotees who have just arrived, then 4 months later they returned, and when they returned, the father of Raghunath Das sent a man to speak with Shivananda Sena. "Ei Manusya Shivananda Senera Puchila, Senere Puchila, Mahaprabhu Stane Akavaira Gide Kila." That man inquired from Shivananda Sen, "Did you see anyone in the renounced order at the residence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?" Govardhanera Putra Teho Nama Raghunath Nilachale Parichaya Ache Tomarasad. That person is Raghunath Das, the son of Govardhan Majjumadharma. Did you meet him at Nilachal? Shivananda kahe teho hai prabhurastane parama vikyata teho keba nahi jane. Shivananda Sena replied, "Yes, sir. Raghunath Das is with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he's a very famous man. Who does not know him?" Swaruperastane tahe karyachena samarpana Prabhura Bhakta Ganera Ho Haya Pranasama. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has placed him under the charge of Swarup Damodar. Raghunath Das has become just like the life of all of the Lord's devotees. So he is famous for that he is so gentle. His life is so deeply devoted to Mahaprabhu, deep, very profoundly so, and in the charge of Swarup Damodar. So everyone is so charmed and have so much affection for him. In that sense, famous. Ratre dina kare teho nama sankirtana kshana matra nahi chade prabhura charana. He chants Hare Krishna Maha Mantra all day and night. He never gives up the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not even for a moment. Parama vairagya tara nahi paksha paridana jaiche taiche aharakare rakaye parana. He is in the supreme order of a renounced life. Indeed, he does not care about eating or dressing. Somehow or other he eats and maintains his life. He's not concerned about it. Whatever is coming, and whatever isn't. His mind is not in the plane of bodily maintenance, but he knows he has to eat something. So whatever comes. Beautiful, beautiful example. Dasha danda ratri gela pushpanjali dekhiya singhadvare kada haya ahara lagila. After 10 dandas, 4 hours of the night have passed, and Raghunath Das has seen the performance of Pushpanjali. He stands at the Singhadwar gate to beg some alms to eat. Keha chadi deha tabe karaye bakshana kaba upavasa kabu karaye charvana. If he eats, if someone gives him something to eat, sometimes he fasts, and sometimes he chews fried grains. Atashuni se manusya govardhana stane kahilagiya shabaragunata vivarane. After hearing this, the messenger returned to Govardhan Majumdar and informed him all about Raghunath Das. And so we can begin here tomorrow. Hare Bol, Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki Jai, Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Now today's Sunday, so we'll get to hear this Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita given to us by Srila Sanatana Goswami, although it is eternal. These kinds of books appear and disappear in the society. And the Brihad Bhagavatamrita was spoken by Jaimini Rishi to King Janamejaya, the son of King Parikshit. So he's telling this story. But that, and then after that, that was after Jaimini Rishi had spoken the Mahabharata to King Janamejaya. And that Mahabharata is different from the Mahabharata which is now available to us. And I'm just saying as an example that Mahabharata was manifest and now it is unmanifest. We don't have that Mahabharata. But it is similar, of course, but the emphasis is 100% on Krishna. Krishna is not one of the characters. but he is the center of everyone's consciousness and activity. And then after hearing that, King Janamejaya, is there something else you can say? So he heard Brihad Bhagavatamrita from Jaimini Rishi. And then that became unmanifest, and now again manifest by Srila Sanatana Goswami. So we have this wonderful book for some time. We don't know how long. Jai Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad Ki Jai, Sa Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Hari Bol. So now we are on page 318 of this book, chapter 4 of the first volume. And now, of course, Narada Muni is traveling and seeing different levels of devotional sentiment. And now, by the grace of Prahlad Maharaj, he has been sent to meet with Hanuman, because Prahlad Maharaj is in Shantaras. It is Ras. It is deep feeling and experience and relationship with the Lord, but it is in meditational stage. It is not really an interaction of service exactly, but deeply meditating always in a formal surrender. But that, beyond that, is Hanuman, who's doing everything for Ramachandra, anything. Running here, run there, do this, do that, do that. He's expert in every kind of seva of his jurisdiction. So here now, This is Prahlad Maharaj actually explaining the glories of Hanuman, and now he's continuing. Vibhishanartha sampadi rakshobala binashakrit bishalya karini nama sodhyanayana shaktiman. He fulfilled the desires of Vibhishan. He destroyed the military force of the Rakshasas. And he had the special power to deliver the healing herb called Bishalya Karini. So Vibhishan was Ravana's brother, but he always wanted to become a servant of Ramachandra. Early on, Hanuman furthered Vibhishan's cause by telling the Lord about his saintly behavior. When Vibhishan defected and crossed the ocean, Hanuman arranged for him to meet the Lord. The acts of Hanuman mentioned up to this point correspond to those narrated in Sri Ramayana, in the Kishkinda Kanda and Sundar Kanda. From here on, beginning with the phrase of Rakshobala Binashikrit, the destroyer of the Rakshasas military force, through the phase in text 49, Sita Pramadana, the encourager of Sita, the accomplishments of Hanuman in the Yuddhakanda are briefly described. Srila Sanatana Goswami assumed that his readers were familiar with Valmiki's Ramayana and therefore left out further details of these stories to avoid needlessly increasing the size of the book. So there are many details of Hanuman's service that are not going to be mentioned here, because of course when Sanatana Goswami spoke, is revealing these things. Everyone who's anyone, every civilized person has read the Ramayana. During the battle between Lord Ramachandra's armies and those of Ravana, Ravana's son Indrajit attacked in the middle of the night, resorted to magic, and made all the monkey soldiers unconscious. At that time, Sri Lakshman also played the pastime of becoming unconscious in order to fulfill a prediction by Brahma. On the advice of the physician Sushena, Hanuman set out to find the herb Bishalya Karini. which alone could save the lives of Lakshman and the Vanara soldiers. He was able to bring the herb from Gandhamadana mountain not only once, but twice. In the course of this, he had to defeat an army of Gandharvas. He had to uproot the entire mountain because he couldn't distinguish which plant was the correct one, and swiftly return before it was too late. Very intense situation. So we're always seeing a picture of Hanuman carrying a mountain, and that is that reason, to bring that Sanjeevani. It's also called Sanjeevani, that plant. Well, at least that's what I read before. But that plant, he didn't know how to recognize it, so he just uprooted the whole mountain and gave the whole thing to the doctor to find the herb. Swasanya pranada Srimat Sanuja Prabhu Harshaka Gatova Banatam Bhartur Bhaktya Sri Lakshmanasya Cha Jai Shri Guru Gaurachandra Jai Geraji Jai. He was the very life of his soldiers, always giving great pleasure to his divine Lord and the Lord's younger brother Lakshman. He devotedly served as carrier for them both. Jaya sampadakastasya mahabuddhi parakramaha satkirti vardano raksho rajahantur nija prabho. Supremely intelligent and valorous, he brought victory for Lord Ramachandra. He added to the spotless fame of his Lord, who killed the king of the Rakshasas. Commentary. Hanuman showed his intelligence in giving strategic advice and his prowess in opposing the enemy on the battlefield, especially during the confrontations with Indrajit and Ravana. During these battles, both Ramachandra and Lakshman rode on his back. Hanuman increased Lord Ramachandra's fame in various ways, by jumping over the ocean, helping set the stage for killing Ravana, and so on. Wonderful. Sita Pramodana Swami Saprasadaika Bhajanam Agyayat Mesvaras Yatra Stitopi Virahasaha. It was Hanuman who encouraged Mother Sita, and by the Lord's order, this Hanuman, the one true recipient of his master's favor, still lives in this world, though unable to bear separation from the Lord. Commentary. After Lord Ramachandra killed Ravana in battle, Hanuman brought the news to Mother Sita in the Ashok garden. This brought Sita back to life, and her life became full in happiness when Hanuman took her to meet her husband. Thus Hanuman rendered many kinds of welcome service to Lord Ram and his dear devotees. After describing this, Prahlad next mentions the rewards Hanuman enjoyed for his service. When Lord Ramachandra was anointed king of Ayodhya, he particularly favored Hanuman by presenting him Mother Sita's gold necklace. More than this, he granted Hanuman unflinching pure devotion for him. Since Hanuman's life with Lord Ramachandra after the victory was so fortunate, one may ask how Hanuman could ever have left the Lord's association. Why did he not return with Lord Rama to the eternal Ayodhya in Vaikuntha, along with the other residents of the kingdom? The answer is that his Lord specifically asked him to stay behind on earth. Atmaneshwar means his own Lord, and it also means the Lord of all Atmas. In other words, by staying in this world, Hanuman gave all of its inhabitants a much better chance to take to the path of pure devotional service. Jaya Chajashvam. Anandichinmaya rasatmataya manasu yat praninam pratipalam smaratam upecha lilaitena bhuvanani jaya Chajashvam. Govinda Mari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So the presence and remembrance of the devotees brings victory in this world. So Hanuman, by remaining in this world, is giving everyone the benedictions of his presence and his constant remembrance of the Lord. Lord Ramachandra ordered Hanuman to make this severe sacrifice because the Lord wanted to bestow such mercy on the conditioned souls. Living in separation from the Lord is Hanuman's most difficult and glorious service. So now we're on text 50. Atmanam nityatat kirti shravaneno padarayan tanmurti parsfatastishtan rajate dyapi purvavat. He keeps himself alive by constantly hearing the glories of Lord Ram. Staying by the side of the Lord's deity, he is present even today with the same splendor as always. Commentary. The pain of separation from Lord Ramachandra would be unbearable for Hanuman, but he has survived by staying always absorbed in the ecstasy of Shravanam Kirtanam. Expert singers among the Kimpurushas, like Aristasena, support Hanuman by providing sweet recitations of Lord Ramachandra's glories for him to hear. Hanuman stays in Kimpurusha Loka, near the permanently installed deity of Lord Rama. He regularly worships that deity in various ways, offering the same personal services he used to perform when together with his Lord. This is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Quote, "My dear king, in Kimpurusha Varsha, the great devotee Hanuman is always engaged with the inhabitants of that land in devotional service to Lord Ramachandra, the elder brother of Lakshman and dear husband of Sita Devi. A host of Gandharvas is always engaged in chanting the glories of Lord Ramachandra. That chanting is always extremely auspicious. Hanumanji and Aristasena, the chief person in Kimpurusha Varsha, constantly hear those glories with complete attention. Hanuman chants various mantras eternally. So this is like nobody can measure, and we're remembering all these things, and we're hearing these things. This also from Krishna, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj with regard to the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. He's saying, I'm only mentioning a few pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So these are infinite things. And there's infinite depth of each pastime. So this is not going to be like something that is going to run out. It's like, okay, well, we just said all the pastimes. But hearing them again and again, there's always some fresh taste. Always fresh taste. Just as what Srila Guru Maharaj said, at every moment, the surrendered soul is feeling a new kind of happiness that has never ever been known before, ever. So this is the nature of devotion and surrender. Always fresh. Always fresh. We were talking a little bit about surrender last night and how this, and Paramananda Prabhu reminded us that this is eternal. This is not only a practice which is going to give us a certain kind of attainment, and then that practice is given up. And I was thinking after that about that, and the example of my brain isn't working. Anyway, the great souls, that when they even think about surrender, they become overwhelmed or mad with divine love, even to hear the word surrender. So we can see this in the examples of that great, oh my goodness, I can't believe the name of this great devotee of Mahaprabhu is slipping my mind, but he is King Vrishabhanuraj in the eternal pastimes of Krishna. He's the eternal father of Srimati Radharani. And just hearing the word Sharanam, just hearing the word Sharanagati, made him mad with love of Krishna. Kangva Dayalu Sharanam Rajema. He's tearing his clothes, his jewelry is on the floor, he's knocking over vats of very valuable scented oils. You know, his hair, it's everything, and falling on the ground. Kangva Dayalu Sharanam Bhajema. Who else would I surrender to but that gentle Lord who gave Putana position of his mother in the divine plane. Pundarik Vijanidhi. Pundarik Vijanidhi. Just hearing the word Sharanam made him mad. So we have to understand the depth of Sharanagati. It is what we are practicing because it is the essence. It is the glorious, brilliant, magnificent essence of the relationship between the Lord and everyone. So this is a wonderful thing to meditate upon. And so in his deep surrender, Hanuman is experiencing so many beautiful pastimes of Sri Ramachandra. And in the internal plane, he's doing many, many things in separation. And so, in this Kim Purusha Loka, the Gandharvas, they're all chanting the Kinnaras and Kinnaras. But they're always chanting the glories of Ramachandra, and he is living like this in surrender to the order of the Lord. Text 51. So again, that means service. Swamin kapi patir dasye ityadi vachanai kalu prasiddho mahima tasya dasyameva prabho kripa. My dear spiritual master, Hanuman's greatness is well known from scriptural statements, like the chief of the monkeys became perfect by acting as the Lord's servant. His servitude is proof of the Lord's mercy. So, my dear spiritual master, these words are being spoken again by Prahlad to his guru Narada. It's so great, Hanuman. So, Prahlad Maharaj is perfectly content in his rasa, in his feeling, his exchange with the Lord. He doesn't want to change that. But at the very same time, he can see, oh, he's been given service. He is higher than I am. So both of those elements are there. Commentary, Prahlad quotes the phrase Kapi Patir Dasi from a very famous verse. Quote, Parikshit became perfect simply by hearing, from Sukadeva Goswami. The son of Vyas became perfect by chanting, and again that is Sukadeva Goswami. Prahlad by remembering, and Lakshmi by serving the Lord's lotus feet. Prithu became perfect by deity worship. Akrura by offering prayers. And the chief of the monkeys by acting as a servant. Arjuna attained perfection by friendship, and Bali by surrendering everything that he owned. How then can there be one description for what it means to be a devotee of the Lord? In Srila Sanatana Goswami's opinion, Sridhar Swami's interpretation of the word dasyam as offering the Lord the fruits of one's work only partially described Hanuman's relationship with Rama. There's a little bit of difference in conception, Vaishnava conception. Srila Sanatana Goswami says that dasyam rather should be understood to indicate the perpetual relationship of loving service. That is the relationship. It is not that I'm doing something and then whatever happens I'm offering that. That's not the same. An exalted variety of transcendental rasa, dasya is complete service. It involves all the senses, even on the physical level, just as all the senses of the physical body are purified by a bath. They are all naturally engaged by a devotee's absorption in dasya ras. Therefore, a relationship of servitude like Hanuman can be said to be superior to mere remembrance of the Lord. Prahlad considers his own service of smaran inferior because it is only an inner activity of the mind, and the outer or seemingly outer senses of the form, the activity is not there. So Srila Guru Maharaj quotes that first, Asyayame, Rashastu Rashastu Nityam, Sakyayame, Rashastu Rashastu Nityam, Sakyayame, Namastu Namastu Nityam, Dasyayame, Rashastu Rashastu Satya, Rashastu Rashastu. I want to say Satyam, but I don't think that's the word. But anyway, the meaning of this verse is that I am the servant. That's who I am. My identification is the servant of Krishna. But I'm worshipping, Namastu, Namastu, that relationship of friendship. I worship that. I think I see that that is there, and I'm worshiping that. But I am the servant of the Lord. And this is our prayer. And Guru Maharaj said, this is our prayer and our feeling. And if some higher rasa will ever come down, that is by their decision. That rasa may come, but that always the basis is in the feeling of servitude. Always is the basis. Jai. All right, a little bit more. We'll go a little bit more. Yaduchaya labdam api vishnur dasarate stuya naichan mokshang bina dasyang tasmai hanumate namaha. Although Hanuman obtained from the son of Dasharat the boon of liberation without striving for it, he never wanted to accept liberation without the opportunity to serve. To that Hanuman I offer my obeisances. This is another verse Prahlad quotes from the scripture from Sri Narayana Vyuhastava as proof of Hanuman's greatness. Liberation became available to Hanuman without his even trying for it. And Guru Maharaj says, someone asked Guru Maharaj, will the holy name give liberation? And Guru Maharaj said, yes, that's not only liberation. That will happen in the background. He wanted only service to Lord Ram and nothing else. He thought, even if the cycle of birth and death is broken for me, I must continue serving my Lord. Maybe I will come out of this mundane atmosphere, maybe I won't. But if I do, I don't want that, unless I can continue to serve Ramachandra. Hari Bol. Any questions?
No.
Is there anything online? Probably not, but I just wanted, if somebody wanted to make a comment or had a question.
This Dandavat stairs from Kumkum and
I don't know.
little lotus flowers and bumblebees from art from Ganga Lila.
What was that, Didi?
Lotus flowers and bumblebees from
Okay.
Ganga Lila.
Well, all right. Jai Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita Ki Jai Sri Sanatana Goswami Pad Ki Jai, the holy lotus feet of our divine guardians, and especially right now remembering the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan and their divine followers. Ki Jai. Hari Haraya Namah Krishnaya Radhavaya Namah Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah Gopal Govinda Ram Srimati Saram Giridhara Nandu ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhansa Parivrajaka Astatara Siddhi Sri Srimati Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindade Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhansa Parivrajaka Astatara Siddhi Sri Srimati Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Radhe Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Sannyasi Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Laharidas Thakur ki jai. Shri Narottam Shamananda Srinivas Thakur Prabhu ki jai. Sadgoswami Prabhu ki jai. Saparshad Sriman Mahaprabhu ki jai. Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat ki jai. Tadiya Shaka Mat ki jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mission ki jai. Kol Kartal ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi ki jai. And Ekadasi Bhakta ki jai. Ekadasi here in Salt Lake City. Srimati Tulsi Devi ki jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol. Dandavat. Tiger Day. Hare Krishna.
Any of these mangoes you brought, are they, what are they? Are they offered already?
What was that?
Those mangoes, are they offered already, the mangoes?
Mangoes. They're the ones I brought up.
You
I
have
just
to
have-
press end.
Huh?
You have to press end. So are they Goga or are they Prashant?
So,
It's not.
well, no, I brought them for her to cut up and serve out at the end.